Hello and welcome to Lynchburg Live. I'm your host, Linda Smith. The local science fiction club, Heimdal Science Fiction, has been fortunate to be able to send a local student to NASA's space camp in Huntsville, Alabama annually for the past several years. This year's student is Caroline DeChant, who went to space camp this summer, and she's here tonight to tell us about her trip and the space camp experience. Caroline, I'm so glad to have you on the show.
I'm glad to be here.
As we get started, can you just let our audience know a little bit about you? Tell us how old you are, if you don't mind. I'm not supposed to ask women how old they are, but how old you are and what school you go to.
I'm 13 and I'm in 8th grade at Amherst Middle, but when I won the scholarship I was in 7th grade.
That's right, good. And now you just spent a week at space camp. Now that was, what time were you there and how long were you there?
My family and I drove down on Saturday in July, and the next day on Sunday is when the check-in was, and I graduated from it on Friday.
So you were there a week?
About
6 days,
yeah.
Is it 6 days? Yeah. And so that was the end of July, like July 21st, I think is when you,
July
when you
21st.
went. All right. Do you want to tell our audience how you won this trip to space camp?
I heard about a contest of writing an essay through one of my teachers, and my letter was chosen. Honestly, it really still doesn't feel real.
Sure. But that's so cool. I mean,
yeah.
that is really a cool thing. Now, had you heard about space camp before?
A couple times, but I really, at first, I had, no doubt that I was going to go. I was set on going.
That's great. You know, you wrote such an excellent essay. Do you remember anything that you said in the essay?
I actually have it right here.
Okay.
Dear Heimdal Science Fiction Group, my name is Caroline DeChant, and I'm in 7th grader at Amherst Middle School. I'm an honor roll student and in all my advanced classes. In my spare time, I like to write science fiction stories or read old science fiction stories. I live in the Blue Ridge Mountains with my mom, dad, brother, and my dog. And skip that. NASA Space Camp would really help me experience aspects of engineering and astronomy that I may want to pursue in my future career. And I've wanted to go to space camp for a long time. Sincerely, Caroline DeChant.
You know, one of the things, one of the things that our space camp committee, when we read the essays, stuck out about your essay was that you said, I really, really want to go. You know, and I think that was the thing that really helped you win, was because you were so honest about it and it had so much feeling behind it that you really wanted to go. Well, did you have a good time?
Really good. It was amazing all around.
Was it everything you thought it would be, or was it real different?
For a while, I just thought we were going to be studying moon rocks or something, and then it got more into actually doing simulators and things like that.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm going to ask you about that in a second. Now, did you have to make any special preparation to go to space camp? Did you have to have a physical exam or?
Yeah, I had a physical, and there were a lot of other forms that we had to fill out, a whole bunch of them.
I guess if you're going to be put in those simulators, that they want you to be completely healthy so that nothing's going to happen to you when they do that to you. All right. Now, did you know anybody who was at space camp?
No, but making friends was really easy because we were all in groups.
About how many kids are there at a time?
I'm not really sure. About 16 in our group.
That's great. And how many groups do you think?
There were a lot.
A lot of groups.
They had to a habitat or hotels full of kids.
That's great.
So.
All right. Now, were all of the kids that you got to meet, were they all from the United States?
Most of them, but one team was all from China.
Oh, that's cool. Now, when you say a team, how many people are in the team? Or on a team?
There were a few 13, and then it could go up to 16 or 19.
That's cool. Do you all stay together the whole time?
Yes.
If you're in a team?
Yeah. unless like something was wrong with the counselors and they had to combine or something. But most of the time we stayed in our own groups.
Now these habitats that they put you in, is this one behind us?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
It was basically a 4-level big hotel. Like you walk through, then there's like rooms, and each room there's 6 or 7 bunks and lockers.
And it looked like the outside of the space shuttle?
Yeah.
Or I think that's the outside of the space shuttle.
Yeah.
And I think that is just the coolest thing in the world. But it didn't look like the shuttle on the inside.
No, the wall was curved, so it felt sort of dizzy as soon as you wake up.
That's wonderful.
But
you know, we have this is our club that's sent Caroline, just for those of you who are watching, and some of the adults who are in our group really would like to win this trip, because they have trips for people of all ages, and they do have a trip for adults. So we can't send anybody, but they want to go. All right. Now, what kind of activities did you do?
we went on simulation missions. We did the simulators themselves for the astronaut training, and we learned about the history of space travel.
Oh, that's great. Did you like that part?
Yeah.
Tell me what kind of simulators they put you in.
There was one that you step into and it's supposed to like cure you from space dizziness, and it consists of like 3 circles, and it just span you around and around in different directions.
Is that the thing that kind of looks like a gyroscope?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what that is.
And so you don't move, actually, do you? Everything else moves around you?
No, you move. Like, you're in the middle or on one ring, and then it can go all the different directions, and you can go upside down and sideways upside down.
And you don't get dizzy?
No, not unless you close your eyes.
What is it? What happens if you close your eyes?
You feel like you're going to puke.
Oh, that's what I figured. I was thinking puke was probably one of those things. Did anybody do that?
No, everybody who felt like they were going to just didn't go.
That's cool.
So,
you know, that was one of the things I think people are interested in. Or when they put you in these simulators, does it make you sick? Did you actually have the experience of being weightless?
no, but there was something very close to it. There was a seat, and then it was attached to a bungee cord, and then you could just like hop on the moon, like
Cool.
a simulated moon ground.
One of the kids we sent earlier said that they let them do rappelling off of a tower or something?
I think that was either for Advanced Space Camp or Aviation Challenge. But it really sounds fun, though. I
Yeah.
wish I could have done it.
And somebody else said, and you can tell me if they did this to you, that to give them the feeling of weightlessness, they had put them underwater with a snorkel thing, and let them play basketball with bowling balls. You didn't do that?
We didn't do that either. It was advanced.
It's just interesting, the things that you get to do. Did you have a simulated mission that you worked on all week long?
We had 2 that we divided with the week. One was a shuttle mission where we had to fly the shuttle to the International Space Station and back safely. And the other was a futuristic mission where the Orion goes to the moon base and transfers astronauts.
Cool. Now, do you practice all week long for this particular mission?
No, we practice for one day, then we go through the mission itself, and then we practice for the next mission, and then do that one.
Does something happen that goes wrong on this mission?
There are anomalies, and we tell mission control what our anomaly is, and they look through a little book and see how to solve it, and the flight director can approve certain choices.
Now, do you get to choose what position in the crew you want?
You can decide like a couple that may be good choices for you, and then they just decide on like how many spaces they have.
What was your mission? What was your position?
On the shuttle mission, I was flight director, And on the lunar mission, I was one of the astronauts being transferred from Earth to the moon.
That's just so cool. And you wore we got you a flight suit. Did you wear that every day?
We didn't wear it every day because it was really, really hot, but I did wear it the first day and the last day on graduation where we got our wings.
Did you have a sort of a spacesuit that you wore when you went on the mission that looks like a real spacesuit?
On the lunar mission, yes. On the shuttle mission, they were supposed to do an EVA, like a spacewalk. So they got to wear their suits and have like a crane sort of lift them up so they could fix tiles on the space shuttle. And on the moon, we wore our spacesuit to go fix something that was wrong with the lab on the moon.
Did you enjoy that?
Yes, we had to fix a broken window and replace some circuit boards.
How do you do that? And you were wearing the suit?
Yeah.
Was that difficult?
It was difficult trying to get around with like a big helmet that could just bump into a wall where you're not used to bumping. And we weren't supposed to wear gloves then because there was a ladder we had to go up to get to the window. So they just wanted us to be safe.
I just think that's such a wonderful experience. We're going to stop for just a second, and Phil, if you'll put the pictures that Caroline's brought up on the screen, she'll tell us what they are.
That's me and my team. We were called Coca-Cola. And
why were you Team Coca-Cola?
We're Team Coca-Cola because Coca-Cola is one of our sponsors, and each team was either named after a sponsor or a shuttle mission.
Good.
That's one of the space shuttle. That's a part of one of the spaceships that went into orbit.
Is that a real?
That's a real one. They had the entire thing set up, but the camera was too small to get all of it. It was in a big warehouse, and that's only like one small piece of it.
Did you actually see a shuttle? Did they have a shuttle there?
Yeah, they had a big model one. I don't think it was one of the real ones, but it was life-sized. That's me in front of the G-force accelerator and some of the rockets.
Where is the orange right behind you?
That's
is that
the G-force
accelerator? Is that the thing that you were telling me that turns you around, and if you close your eyes, you puke?
That's the one where you buckle yourself into a wall, and and as it spins, it gets faster and faster, and you are pressed against the wall, and the wall slides up. And you hear a big bang, and you don't know what's going on because you don't feel anything.
Was that fun?
That was very fun. I went on it several times.
Oh, cool. It's like one big carnival ride, kind of.
Yeah, basically. That's some of the kids fixing the tiles on the shuttle. That's what the suits look like. That's not me, but that's one of the people on the team. But that's basically what it is.
Do you get to keep your suit?
No.
Oh, that's too bad.
The flight suit, yeah, but not the space suit. That's me and a few other kids. We were plotting a lunar base. We set it up according to how much credits we had or money and how dependable of a source it would be that you would have.
So it's a teamwork thing.
Yeah. That's one of the simulators I was in. It was the original backpacks that they had on the real astronaut suits to help you maneuver around. You can go different directions, forward, backward.
That just has to be the neatest thing in the world.
That's the habitat and the space camp insignia.
Is that where you enter?
That's where you enter. That's our graduation ceremony. I think that's the astronaut.
So you got to meet an astronaut?
Yes.
Do you know what his name was?
I don't remember for sure.
But it's cool to meet somebody
It was
like
very
that.
cool. He was the one that gave us our wings.
Great.
That's me standing under one of the shuttle rockets.
I didn't see you at first. There you are.
That's me.
How neat.
That's when the parts of the ship, it just jumped out at me because it was so big and it made me feel so
Huge.
small, and it shows like how the diameter of the ship, and I was just like, whoa, when I saw it.
I would be that way from the minute I walked in.
Those are the shuttles, or the ships. Rockets.
Rockets.
Yeah.
Wonderful pictures.
Yes.
They are just wonderful. Now, you told me you stayed with the same team the whole time. And
Yes.
how many were in your team?
16.
16. That's cool. How do you, on this mock mission you're on, is a star field simulated outside the ship so that you see stars moving by, or?
Yes. They have screens where the windows are, like computer monitors, and they simulate the stars, and you can also see the Earth sometimes, or the moon in front of you.
That's something fascinating, I think. Now, you said graduation. What happens at your graduation?
You stand up and they call your name, and they give you an envelope with your picture and certificate in it, and then the astronaut comes up, shakes your hand, and gives you your wings.
Did you have lunch with the astronaut?
No, that was available, but we couldn't because we had to go home,
It's
and it was a long drive.
still good that you got to meet him. Could you just tell me sort of what you do when you get up in the morning, how your day went?
You got up, you went to breakfast, and then I haven't.
Everybody goes to breakfast together?
Everybody goes to breakfast together, and then after that you can, we go to an IMAX movie, which is about a satellite or the moon missions or something, and then after that you go to lunch, I think, and then after lunch is either some time at like learning about something, or you go directly to the missions. When you get out of the missions, then there's sort of like a free museum time where you get to sort of wander around a designated area and just look at all the cool things.
That's wonderful.
And then we go to an auditorium where there's like a presentation about like the past of space shuttles or rockets or everything. It's really cool. And then you go to free time where we either like do the simulators, or if we're finished the simulators, then we just got out a Frisbee or something.
I was going to ask you what you did if you had any free time.
Yeah, that's what we did.
That's great.
Different groups did different things. We played Frisbee. And after that, then you go to another auditorium where they make sure all the groups are there, and then they just send us off to bed. We have a limited time to get ready, and then after that time's over, no question about it, just lights out.
Do you think you said to me that you like to write science fiction stories?
Yeah.
Do you think you've got some good stuff from this to include in science fiction stories from now on?
I have.
Now, there's also a part of Space Camp called the Aviation Challenge, and I don't know very much about that. What did you find out about it?
I didn't learn much. Most of what I heard was when I just like looked at it from a distance or saw the kids in the cafeteria. But it's supposed to be a military thing where you can sort of train to be a jet fighter or something.
So it's to encourage people to get into military aviation.
Yes.
But you were more you liked the Space Camp part of it the most. All right. So which part of the week did you enjoy the most? Getting to know the kids, doing the simulators, doing the mock?
The mock missions were definitely my favorite, the top of the list.
That's great. do you have an idea what you want to do when you get out of school?
I know I want to do something with the space. Like, I either want to be an author or an astronaut, or not really astronaut, but a aerospace technician or something really cool like that.
That's great. I mean, I think that's great that you have these ideas and you want to do this. And I'm hoping that what you learned, is going to help you. How could it not help you? You know, this is such a cool experience. All right. Do you think that generally having the experience and the different things that you learn will help you in the future, not necessarily with your career, but having had the experience make a difference?
Yeah, I really think so.
Would you like to go again?
Yeah, I've even already wrote lists of what I'm going to do.
Have you really? When are you planning on going back?
I'm not sure, but as soon as possible.
What would you tell other students about this experience, or if somebody, if we offer this in schools again and somebody would ask you about it, what would you tell them?
It's amazing, and no matter what, you have to at least try to go. It'll just blow your mind.
I can't imagine not putting in an application to go to something like this.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad that you did, and that this has been an experience that has been something that you'll remember for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
What did the other kids say to you in school when you tell them you've been?
They just smile and wave at me. Nothing really changed, but...
At Space Camp, were there more boys or more girls, or just about the same of each?
I'm not really sure. There wasn't really much of a head count, but in our group, there were 10 boys and 6 girls.
So that's just a couple more boys.
Yeah, just a few. Not that many more.
We were so excited because we've been sending kids to Space Camp since 1999, and we had a girl in 1999, and you're our first girl since then, and we think that's pretty cool. I don't know. I think that more girls are interested in technology, and girls can do anything now. Anything that boys can do, we can do, and sometimes we can do it better. So, do you think you'll keep in touch with some of the kids who were in your group?
Yeah, I have a few of their numbers, so I'll be able to text them and call them.
That's great. All right. You said in your application, you were talking about that you like to write science fiction, and that you had recently gotten into reading science fiction from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Tell me about that. That's cool.
They're all really interesting. At first you look at it and you kind of want to read it, kind of don't, because it seems kind of old. But once you get into them, they're even better than the new stuff. The new stuff is running out of ideas.
Yeah. How about watching science fiction on television or in the movies? Do you find the old ones a little bit better?
The old ones have good plots, but the newer ones are sort of better by the animation scale. So you can get more into it because of that.
I think the special effects certainly are better because they've come a long way. But, some of the old plots and that kind of thing are pretty interesting. And, it's a toss-up as to which people think is best, really. So tell me what you've written. Have you written anything and entered it into any contest?
No, not yet. I'm still working on finishing everything.
Are there competitions out there to write?
There are. Sometimes in schools even, but... I haven't really won anything yet.
Well, you've got lots of time. All right, if you could just sum up for our audience and just in one sentence say what this has meant to you, what would you say?
This has really meant a lot. I loved Space Camp. I loved it with everything that I have. And whoever wants to go needs to go. It's just amazing.
Well, Caroline, I just thank you so much for being on this show and for telling us about this wonderful experience. And, you know, for those of you who sort of keep up with this show, our annual Heimdal Science Fiction's annual charity auction is what funds this trip to Space Camp for a local student. And our auction was 2 weeks ago, and we made more money than we ever have, so we are assured of sending another student in 2014. So, Caroline, if they came and asked you to talk to them, I'm sure you would give them a good recommendation.
Yes.
All right. Okay, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's show and have really enjoyed meeting Caroline. I think this is such an educational opportunity for the students that we're able to send, and it's always good to see the student after they get back and to be able to recognize the enthusiasm that this kind of trip causes you to have. All right. My next show will feature a local woman who attempted to swim the English Channel this summer. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.